13 countries with the worst geographical disadvantages. Some countries have to climb mountains to progress, while others are hemmed in by land. It's like playing life on a challenging level, and they're doing it for real. In our interconnected world, where location can be everything, these countries find themselves at a geographical crossroads. This is the intriguing story of the 13 nations that nature hasn't always been kind to. It's not just about maps and coordinates, it's about how their unique positions have shaped their destinies. From being landlocked to facing the fury of Mother Nature, these nations grapple with extraordinary challenges. Join us as we embark on a journey to understand why geography isn't always destiny, and why it's vital to appreciate the uphill battles these countries face. 1. Bhutan. Bhutan, often called the Land of the Thunder Dragon, is renowned for its stunning landscapes and unique approach to happiness and sustainability. However, this idyllic nation faces a notable geographical disadvantage: its mountainous terrain. Nestled in the eastern Himalayas, Bhutan is characterized by steep slopes and deep valleys. While this creates breathtaking scenery and a sense of isolation, it also complicates infrastructure development. Roads and communication networks encounter significant challenges, impacting accessibility and economic growth. Furthermore, Bhutan's landlocked status adds to its geographical challenges. The absence of a coastline makes international trade more complex, as the country depends on neighboring nations for transit routes. Bhutan's focus on environmental conservation and sustainable development illustrates its unique approach to balancing geographical disadvantages with innovative solutions. 2. Eritrea. Because of its location in the Horn of Africa, Eritrea is generally viewed as a country at a severe disadvantage. One of its biggest problems is that while being on the Red Sea's coast, it has very little access to water. Eritrea's potential for maritime trade and economic development is constrained by the country's limited coastline and the arid climate. Its precarious political status is exacerbated by the fact that it is so close to the war-torn territories of the restive Horn of Africa. The semi-arid climate and mountainous landscape of the country make it difficult to grow food, threatening the country's long-term economic and food security. Understanding the impact of geography on a nation's development and stability is essential, and these geographical constraints have molded and continue to define Eritrea's complex history. 3. Lesotho. Despite being called Kingdom in the Sky, Lesotho has a number of geographical challenges that make it stand out. Since it is completely encircled by South Africa and has no other means of access to the ocean, it faces a unique set of difficulties. Because of its relatively small size, the country has fewer options for international trade and must rely on its larger neighbor for transportation and economic links. The Drakensberg Mountains provide the backdrop for this rugged landscape, and the region's roadways often wind their way up and down the mountainous landscape. The high elevation of Lesotho leads to a severe climate, making farming difficult. These geographical challenges have historically hindered economic growth and political stability, but they have also inspired a unique narrative of fortitude in the face of adversity. Lesotho's resolve in the face of adversity is truly remarkable. 4. Mongolia. Mongolia, with its vast steppes and nomadic traditions, faces distinctive geographical disadvantages. Its primary challenge lies in its extreme continental climate. Winters can be brutally cold, with temperatures plunging far below freezing, while summers can bring scorching heat. These weather extremes make agriculture difficult, impacting food security and economic stability. The nation's landlocked status further compounds its geographical challenges. It's surrounded by two superpowers, Russia and China, with no direct access to the sea. This lack of coastline limits its international trade opportunities, making it heavily dependent on its neighbors for transit routes and economic connectivity. Mongolia's vast expanses and low population density also creates hurdles in infrastructure development, transportation, and service provision. Before we move forward, let's answer this question first. Why does Mongolia, with its striking landscapes and nomadic traditions, face such significant geographical disadvantages? 5. Haiti. The impact of natural disasters on Haiti has been profound. This Caribbean nation is susceptible to hurricanes and devastating earthquakes. The 2010 earthquake, in particular, was a catastrophic event, causing widespread destruction and a humanitarian crisis. Thousands lost their lives, and countless buildings were reduced to rubble. The country's limited resources and infrastructure compounded the challenges of recovery. Haiti's vulnerability to such disasters is a stark reminder of how geography can shape a nation's destiny, often with tragic consequences. 6. Bangladesh. The low-lying coastal terrain is a major challenge for Bangladesh. The yearly monsoon season causes floods throughout the country due to the overflow of the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers. In addition to destroying crops and displacing many people, floods also ruin livelihoods. Devastating cyclones are nothing new for Bangladesh. Because of its proximity to the shore, the Bola cyclone of 1970 is still remembered as one of the worst in history. Bangladesh has made investments like building cyclone shelters and embankments to lessen the effects of these threats. However, the ongoing battle against nature raises the question: how does Bangladesh's resilience in the face of geographical adversity serve as a global lesson in climate adaptation and disaster management? 7. Malawi. Malawi grapples with its own set of geographical disadvantages. Located in southeastern Africa, the nation faces the challenging duality of droughts and floods. Much of its population relies on agriculture, making it particularly vulnerable to these extreme weather events. Droughts can lead to food shortages and exacerbate poverty, while floods displace communities and destroy crops and infrastructure. The 2015 floods were especially devastating, affecting hundreds of thousands and leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Malawi's geographical position, straddling the Great Rift Valley, magnifies its susceptibility to such natural disasters. Despite these challenges, the resilience and determination of its people continue to shine, demonstrating the human spirit's ability to adapt and overcome even in the face of challenging geography. 8. Chad. Chad confronts unique geographical disadvantages that have shaped its story. One of the most prominent challenges is its landlocked status, surrounded by neighboring nations. This lack of direct access to the sea limits international trade opportunities, leaving the country dependent on complex overland routes for economic connectivity. Its arid Sahelian landscape contributes to food and water scarcity, affecting livelihoods and perpetuating poverty. The nation's remote and often inhospitable terrain, from the harsh Saharan deserts to the rugged Tibesti Mountains, creates challenges for infrastructure and transportation. Chad's geographic isolation has played a role in historical conflicts and political instability. 9. Burundi. Again, Burundi's location in Africa's Great Lakes region presents significant challenges. One of its biggest problems is that it is completely cut off from the ocean, surrounded on three sides by Rwanda, Tanzania, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This geographical seclusion limits the country's access to global markets and makes it critically dependent on its neighbors for transportation links. Burundi's hilly landscape further complicates infrastructure and transportation due to the twisting nature of road networks. While the landscape is stunning, it also makes farming and transportation problematic. Burundi is a good example of how the physical elements of a country may play a significant role in shaping the course of its history and economy. 10. Rwanda. The steep landscape of Rwanda, while beautiful, presents hurdles for transportation and infrastructure development, resulting in narrow roads and limited access. Having no sea access and being surrounded by other countries, this country is forced to rely on its neighbors for transportation. Soil erosion and other environmental problems are a concern because of the country's lush surroundings. Rwanda has taken several innovative steps in the areas of conservation, technology, and social development in spite of its geographical isolation, and the results have been encouraging. It exemplifies how a country's determination and creativity can help it overcome physical challenges. 11. Paraguay. Paraguay's landlocked status is a significant challenge, with no direct access to the sea, limiting international trade opportunities, and making the nation reliant on its larger neighbors for transit routes. The country's unique location between two regional giants, Brazil and Argentina, can pose diplomatic and economic challenges. Moreover, Paraguay's landscape is dominated by Gran Chaco, a semi-arid region that makes agriculture a struggle. This arid climate can affect food security and economic stability. However, Paraguay's inventive use of its major rivers, such as the Paraguay and Parana, for transportation and energy generation showcases how a nation can adapt and thrive despite geographical adversity. How has Paraguay's landlocked status influenced its regional relationships and economic strategies over time? 12. Laos. Laos is a landlocked gem nestled in mainland Southeast Asia. It's like the heart of the Southeast Asian peninsula, surrounded by Myanmar, Burma, Cambodia, China, Thailand, and Vietnam. What's unique about Laos is that it's the only landlocked country in the region. Imagine being surrounded by neighbors with coastlines, and you're in the middle, craving access to the sea for trade and connectivity. But that's not all. Laos is also a land of rugged beauty. Around 70% of its territory is covered by mountains, highlands, plateaus, and rivers meandering through. These landscapes look stunning on postcards, but pose major challenges for building roads and infrastructure. To add to the mix, Laos experiences its share of natural disasters. The annual monsoon season brings floods and landslides that disrupt lives and damage communities. Despite these hurdles, it remains a country of incredible landscapes that attract adventurers from around the world. 13. Mozambique. The last on our list is Mozambique. It is a country in southeastern Africa with a coastline. The low-lying coastal areas are especially vulnerable to cyclones and flooding because of the region's topography. During the wet season, tropical storms and cyclones can wreak havoc along the country's lengthy coastline in the Indian Ocean, forcing thousands to flee their homes. The agricultural sector, the infrastructure, and people's standard of living are all severely affected by these occurrences of nature. Because of its coastal location, Mozambique is increasingly at risk from rising sea levels caused by climate change. So, my Earth Basics viewers, this is all for today. Hope you enjoyed learning about the challenges of landlocked countries, those with vulnerability to natural disasters, and those with the impact on their economic development due to no direct access to the sea. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't till now. Anyway, thanks for watching and see you in the next of Earth Basics.